Hi, and welcome to Ask Trina Anything. I'm Trina Felber. I'm the author of Beauty's Dirty Secret. I'm the CEO of Primal Life Organics. I've made over 100 skincare natural. I'm talking so natural you could eat it skincare, made without preservatives, without anything that's truly going to harm your body. My philosophy is feed your skin. It's your largest organ, and it will protect you. It's your protector, so you better protect it. So I make over 100 different skincare products that are natural alternatives to chemical-laden skincare products that I gave up and ditched a long time ago, like 8 years ago, when I realized they were harming not just me, but when I was pregnant, they were harming the baby that was growing inside me. And I knew that I needed to find alternatives. So instead of finding alternatives, because I couldn't, I created alternatives. I am here to answer your questions. And today I have two questions that came at me this week that I've heard periodically in conversation with people when I meet them, and also in emails that I've received over the years. So I figured, you know what, these are two great topics. I've talked about deodorants in the past. I've got two other Ask Trina Anything topics about deodorants, so you can look those up as well. Like, why do you stink? Everybody wants to know why. You don't necessarily have to stink. There's things you can do, but it might be a little bit about chemistry, might be a little bit about what you're eating, but that's not what I'm going to talk about today. So I have two questions today that came in. First off, people have told me before that they've tried so many natural deodorants and they get a rash. They break out in this awful red inflamed rash, which is extremely painful, especially when you sweat. And it's very uncomfortable, it's embarrassing, and you just don't want it. So a lot of times people have given up on finding anything that works. And they ask me why that happens and will that happen with my products. The other question that I get is what happens, I'm using your deodorant, or I'm using a natural deodorant, and I'm getting stains under my arms. Ew. People say I have to throw some of my shirts out. They're my favorite shirts. What do I do? Can I prevent this? The answer is yes, you can prevent that. So I'm going to answer those two questions because I think they're really, really, really important questions, especially since I'm recording this in October. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And if you're not familiar with this concept, here it is. Deodorants have been the chemicals or the toxins in deodorants have been linked to breast cancer. So a lot of times you'll hear a lot about natural deodorants and breast cancer awareness this month. So anyway, that's why I'm hitting the topic hard. I really want to get the education out there. I'm all about educating people. I really want you to know what you're putting on your body, know what you're putting in your body, so then you have the power to change it, because until you know, you can't do anything about it. So here I am. I'm excited to talk to you about this topic. So let's get started. So let's talk about redness and irritation, because there's a couple reasons basically that you could be getting irritation and redness. And they're big buzzword detox. A lot of times people say, oh, you need to detox from your previous deodorant if you've been using chemicals or antiperspirants, which is another whole topic that I could talk about, but I'm not going to get into antiperspirants. But if you're using a commercial deodorant, and sometimes even some natural deodorants do still contain some harmful ingredients in them, you could have a little bit of a detox. However, I don't really feel a detox is going to break you out into a true full-blown rash that's going to hurt. So if you have a true full-blown rash that's hurting, I highly doubt that it's a detox. Secondly, especially if you're using a natural deodorant, and I'm talking most natural deodorants contain baking soda. So that's the key, and that's what we're going to talk about. But the next one, the next reason you could possibly be having this reaction would be that you're sensitive to an ingredient. So that's a possibility. Most natural deodorants that are truly natural, like the ones that I make, only contain very few ingredients, like coconut oil, baking soda. There's a couple other ingredients that you could use as alternatives to baking soda. I'll get into that. And essential oils are primarily, sometimes people use shea butter and some other kinds of oils or butters, but for the most part, they're pretty benign, and most people aren't going to be getting a reaction to the ingredients that are found in a truly natural deodorant. So really what I want to focus on is the possibility that it could be the baking soda and the concentration of baking soda that would be put in that ingredient or in that product. Everybody formulates their recipes differently from company to company. So I feel like a lot of research needs to go into not just what's effective in the deodorant, but also, you know, what's going to work with your body and the chemistry of the average person. So when I created my deodorant, I really looked at what pH things are, because you want to keep things fairly pH balanced. If you get too far left or too far right, and I may have done that backwards, but if you get too far right, let's talk about normal body pH. Your normal body pH is between 7.35 and 7.45. My background is in anesthesia, nursing anesthesia. I'm a nurse anesthetist. Trust me, you want to keep your blood pH at a good neutral number, which would be 7.35 to 7.45. If you stray either direction, you're opening yourself up to a lot of issues internally as well as externally for your skin if it's something you're applying. Let me just talk really, really quick just to get the importance of pH. A lot of the foods that we eat are acidic. Acids in the body create inflammation and disease. It lowers your immune system. It can cause cardiovascular problems, all sorts of issues. And a lot of the foods that we tend to eat can be, or drink, can be very acidic with a pH below 7.35, some of them as low as 3. But I want to point out some of the foods, and I'm going to go into more detail on a different Ask Trina about this, because this is such a great topic for people, especially people that are very health oriented, which I know if you found me, you are very health oriented. I'm one of the healthiest people that I know. And I try to educate people, because I really feel that leading a healthy lifestyle through knowledge is the way that you're going to be able to change behaviors. But anyway, some healthy or some acidic foods, and I'm not saying avoid these foods, because these are very nutritionally, some of them are very good for your nutrition and for your body. So take this, and what you need to do is just know that if you're eating too much of these, you could be causing an acid balance in your body. Meat, poultry, and fish are all acidic. So those people that are on a very high protein diet may fall into, especially if you're eating a lot of red meat, a lot of chicken, veal, things like that, eggs included, you could have some extra acid in your body. Milk and milk products are also acidic. Breads, like the wheats and gluten, those are very acidic. Certain nuts like cashews, peanuts, and pistachios. Cashews are my favorite, so that's a bummer. Fats like butter, oil, and corn oil and margarine, those are acidic. Any kind of sweetener, especially artificial sweeteners, but including brown rice. Brown rice is in a lot of gluten-free products. So brown rice is also a acid. Condiments such as ketchup, mayonnaise, mustard, soy sauce, and vinegar is also acidic. And beverages, including, friends of Starbucks, coffee. Coffee is very acidic. And then miscellaneous other foods are also acidic. So you really want to avoid overloading on those. I'm not saying avoid, I'm saying avoid overloading to keep more of a pH balance. There are things that you can eat that will balance that out, and mostly everything else that I didn't mention, including fruits, vegetables, nuts like almonds and Brazil nut seeds, good fats like olive oil, things like that are really good and alkaline, so they can help to neutralize your pH. The other thing, which I'm going to have another Ask Trina on, is a water system that you can purchase that will alkalize your water for you. So your drinking water, you could be drinking alkaline water. We installed it in our house. I'm telling you, it makes a huge difference, especially when you're starting to feel sick. Then I use the highest alkalinic water that I can, which is a level 3 out of this, and boom, I start to feel better right away. It's amazing how you can pH balance your body very quickly. But all right, that was a different topic. Sorry, I got off on that. I really want to talk about baking soda. Baking soda is not an acid, it's alkaline. So it has a pH greater than 7.45. So here is the interesting thing, and I just want to see where I have my, there it is. Okay, sorry, I have all my information. Baking soda, the pH of baking soda is 9. Your skin roughly has a pH of 4.5 to 5. The problem with, let's get back to natural deodorants. The problem with a lot of natural deodorants and recipes that, the recipes for these natural deodorants, is they're putting too much baking soda in. They think that a little bit of baking soda is good because it's what helps keep you dry feeling. So more is better. More is not always better because more can disrupt the pH balance of your pits. And if you have disrupted pH and you have a really high pH, then your skin, too alkaline, the skin barrier can be disrupted and damaged, and therefore you get that burning sensation and that rash can develop. Now keep in mind too that if it's too acidic, then the acid could also cause burns. But we're talking here, an alkaline, too much baking soda can cause redness and irritation. When I developed mine, I tried to make it very effective. You want that balance between being effective and you want it to be balanced for the skin. So what I did today, because I haven't done it in a long time, is I took a little pH paper and I did test my deodorant, which is the Stick Up. I don't know, there we go, the Stick Up. And it has a pH of approximately 5.75 when I test it with my little pH papers. Now they may not be 100% accurate, but they're going to be very close. So what I did today is I actually took, I was sweaty and gross because I was doing some exercises. About every hour I get up and I do a couple things that kind of motivate me and get me going and stimulate my brain, but they also stimulate some sweat. And I thought this is the perfect time to test my sweat because I had put my deodorant on this morning. So I just took my little pH paper and I just kind of, I know I've done this before. I must have a habit of doing it. So I rubbed it under my arm and I let it sit there for a minute and I tested my pH, and my pH of my armpit just came back. It's between 5.5 and 5.75. So that's very good. It's very pH balanced. I'm not getting any rash. That doesn't mean some people will still not get a rash from my formulation of Stick Up. However, most people have told me, I've heard this a lot of times from people that have said, I've purchased so many other different variations or formulas or brands, and I break out, but yours is the only one that I don't break out from. I actually just spoke to Paleo on the Go, Paleo on the Go. If you haven't tried Paleo on the Go, you've got to try Paleo on the Go. But Mark was telling me this exact same thing, and I'm going to be getting a testimonial from him on this because I was like, oh my gosh, I have just heard this. I was just at a conference last week and talked to some woman, and she was telling me how she used some other brand, and she was getting this really bad rash. So she was really excited to talk to me and find out that just because she got a rash with that brand, and it's got almost the identical type of ingredients in it, that she may not get a rash from mine. Now, here's the other thing with natural deodorants. If you do still break out with a rash from the normal, I only have one strength because I believe that if you go stronger than this, you increase the chance of breaking down that barrier and getting a rash. I did make a sensitive formula for anyone that truly is more sensitive to baking soda. And that could also, my friends, be related to your diet. Now remember, if you, depending on the pH balance, your sweat also has a pH. So just because you're breaking out in a rash from a normal formulation with baking soda doesn't mean you always will. It might have to do more with your composition, with your sweat pH and things like that. So anyway, but getting back to the here and now, because here and now is what we need to treat. So I did make a, I do have a couple varieties. 1 or 2 are made with kaolin clay. Kaolin clay is amazing at detoxifying the skin or the body. So it can help pull those toxins right out of the tissues. So the dirty formulations are made with a mixture of kaolin clay and arrowroot powder. And then I do also have a sensitive formula. The lavender sensitive and the lemon clove are also just made strictly with arrowroot powder. Those are primarily put in as the agents that help keep you dry. And they do have some ability to help pull out toxins as well, not just the kaolin clay. The coconut oil, or the base, and why I love coconut oil as the base is because it contains the MCT triglyceride that help to neutralize the bacteria that can grow on your, stay on your skin and grow on your skin, or be on your skin, however you want to put it. They can help to neutralize that bacteria that actually mix with your sweat and cause the stench. So if you do sweat and smell, you can always just reapply, which I'm going to get to in a minute as well. But just reapplying will take that odor away, because that's why I love coconut oil as opposed to shea butter, because shea butter just doesn't have the same properties in it. So all of mine would be made with shea butter, except for one formulation, which has, for people that are more sensitive to coconut oil. Mine are all made with coconut, sorry. So let's get to the next question. So basically, if you're breaking out from one brand, that doesn't mean you have to use chemical-laden deodorants. You can now know that there are different formulas, and mine has been told to me by many people that they don't break out with mine, but they do break out with others. So just keep that in mind. If you are making your own and you are breaking out in a rash, don't give up. Decrease your concentration of baking soda, because that's probably why you're breaking out. Chances are it's not detox. Chances are it's not the ingredients causing it. As far as like a reaction to, the reaction to would be too much of the baking soda. So if you play with that, you will probably do much better. So the next question actually came from, and I hope he doesn't mind I'm using his name, but I just want to give him a little plug, because I just did a radio show with him. Jimmy Moore from Livin' Low Carb, Livin' La Vida Low Carb. Awesome guy, awesome story, amazing, amazing resources, and a lot of knowledge. So I invite you to go to his website, Livin' La Vida Low Carb, and check him out. But anyway, he was saying that him and his wife have been using my products and they love everything. But what they've noticed recently is they were concerned about the deodorant because it was leaving some stains under their arms. And I've had this question a couple times come up, and I can give you a solution for that. They were wondering, like, do we have to throw all our clothes away and replace them? You know, well, that's not feasible. And deodorant, you know, it has to work. It has to be effective. It has to be safe for you. And it also has to live, you know, you have to live with it. So you can't be just putting it on every day, getting some stains that won't come out, and throwing your clothes out to go buy more. I don't believe in that either. I mean, let's be practical. So there are some solutions for that, and there are reasons why that could happen. So let's go into that. So really, first of all, the reason that you're probably getting stains on your shirts is you're probably putting too much on. Remember, coconut oil is not, it's most natural products. So whatever you're using, take a look, read the ingredients. Alcohols, and there are some other ingredients that are put in there to cause a drying. They're not necessarily healthy, and they cause the product to dry faster under your arms. So you can put your shirt on faster, and so that they don't absorb into your clothes. Coconut oil is not like that. And there's nothing in my products and most natural products that have the same type of formulation as mine that are going to cause the deodorant to dry faster. So you have to put less on. So really it's, let me use my deodorant. It's really just like 1, 2, 3 is typically what I do. 1, 2, 3 swipes. It's not like that. Let's see. I don't want to steam today. Ooh. Excuse me. I just got to put more on. All right. It's not that. It's just 2 or 3 swipes. Really, you just want a light coating, because when you can feel it on your skin, you want it to absorb in within about 5 minutes, or absorb almost all the way. Because if you've got a bunch of coconut oil, you know what coconut oil feels like. It's very slippery, very slimy, very greasy. As soon as you put anything on and in contact with that, it's going to soak it up. That's what's happening. You're putting your shirt on, you've got too much under there, you're closing your armpits, and that shirt is coming in contact with the coconut oil, and it's just absorbing it in. So whatever's not being absorbed or hasn't been absorbed into your tissue is now absorbed into your shirt. And it's very difficult to get that out, any kind of oil-based anything out of clothes, if you know that. I do have some good solutions, which I will show you in another episode of Ask Trina, so stay tuned. You can find me. I suggest, if you like this, please sign up for my newsletter. If you go to the website, primallifeorganics.com, you can sign up for my newsletter. There is a spot at the bottom. And I always send these notifications for these Ask Trina Anything and my Trina's Toxic Talk in my newsletters. So anyway, I will be talking about laundry detergent, what I use. That was another question that just came up recently. What do you use? Are you going to be making a laundry detergent? You'd be surprised at my answer. So that's coming up very soon. So anyway, but there are some things that I would recommend that you can actually spray under your shirts, because they take stains out very, very well. They're very natural. They're very safe. So you can spray your shirts, but I cannot say that guaranteed that the coconut oil is going to come out and the beeswax mix is going to come out, primarily because of the nature of coconut oil and beeswax. But if you decrease the amount that you put on and it doesn't absorb into your clothes, then that would solve your problem. The other thing is, I'm just losing my train of thought here. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Sorry. It was like, woo. Okay, so the other thing is, if you're putting less on, is it going to be less effective? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. But if you do find that the middle of the day you are noticing a little bit of an odor, it's more effective to reapply than it is to over-apply. Because think about it. When you over-apply, what happens? It just absorbs into whatever you're wearing. So it's not effective anyway. Secondly, if you reapply, it's going to be more effective at getting rid of the odor, because the coconut oil is amazing. The essential oils are awesome as well, and they help give you a great scent, and they're antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, all those things. But it's going to be less likely to reabsorb or be absorbed into your clothes. So my suggestion is always cut way back on what you're putting on, and secondly, take it with you, and until you're comfortable with not having to reapply, just carry it with you, and, you know, nonchalantly sitting at your desk going, hey dude, can I borrow the deodorant? Oh yeah, thanks. Thank you. Yeah, just freshening the air around here. That's all I'm doing. That's it. Oh yeah, it smells good. Now this is the coconut. It smells like coconut. My favorite is the lavender, and literally cannot make enough lavender. Let me tell you. Cannot make enough lavender. Anyway, those are my suggestions and my research and my knowledge on why you might get a rash, as well as why you might be having stains. Don't give up. Please don't give up. It is so much better to try 1 more, 2 more things, decrease the amount that you're using, play with it a little bit, play with making your own if you have the time. But really, don't give up and don't go back to those chemical-laden things, because there's nothing worse than putting something on your body that could hurt your brain, could hurt your breast tissue, can hurt and absorb into your lymphatic system. And once it gets into your lymphatic system, anything goes, because it travels everywhere. So anyway, I'm Trina with Ask Trina Anything. If you have a question, I want to answer it. So I'm going to be, any question I can't answer, because I'm not an expert in everything, but I do have a very healthy lifestyle, and I really want to share some of my secrets. But if I don't have the answer for you, I am planning on getting a guest expert in here, and I'm working on a couple right now. So if you have any questions for me, It's T3, the number 3, T3 at primallifeorganics.com. You can find me at primallifeorganics.com. I'm the author of Beauty's Dirty Secret, a great book that will give you a lot of insight and motivate you to really read your labels and look at what you're using. And I'm also doing Trina's Toxic Talk about the ingredients that are very harmful to your body. So check me out, find me. I'm looking for you. Have a great day, and thanks for joining me.